Hey, and welcome to Sapphire 2025. I am here at the show floor. The show is almost complete, at least all the interesting integration suite sessions. I'm here with Dave.
Yes. David Morin from More Interesting Inc. So we focus on integration and migrations.
Yes, so I talked with Dave also last year about what was going on in this Sapphire event, and I thought wanted to do something again on this topic because there is a lot in integrations going on, and do you want to start?
Absolutely. So for me, a lot of what I got out of the sessions today were the customer experiences, what they were going through while moving from PO onto integration suite. There was also a lot of discussion about AI and how it is going to be used in the SAP world, and also the importance of integration to facilitate that. But yeah, I think those are the areas that I kind of focused in on. So
So let's try to break this down. There was a lot of things going on. If we just take the migration, I saw a session with Under Armour talking about their journey from multiple different integration platforms. I think they had been on SuccessFactors, so they got Boomi, Neo, all these things, and wanted to migrate into one platform. Makes a lot of sense to consider what you have in your landscape, why you're using it, and consolidate, because as I see it, a lot of these customers, the cost of running multiple platforms just skyrockets.
right. I mean, I think a lot of people are worried about the additional cost of the migration from PO to integration suite, but it's at least as Under Armour presented, it was an opportunity for them to simplify and consolidate. And I've heard that a little bit last year as well. Taking the projects, breaking them into chunks, and doing step by step to bring them into the integration suite. So.
Yeah, I think yeah, it makes a lot of sense. They also have all of other platforms and saying, hey, what makes most sense? And I thought you had an interesting point about MuleSoft and what the differences between, at least in the community, what.
Yeah. I mean, I think when MuleSoft is there's a lot of overlap between different integration technologies. From a capabilities perspective, they can do a lot of the same things. And so it becomes a question of why do we have multiple middlewares that can do the same thing? When your backend is SuccessFactors, my experience is that MuleSoft is a completely valid way, but with SAP, I think Integration Suite provides a lot of options that are in pre-built configurations that allow you to do a lot of similar functionality as MuleSoft. So for me, this makes sense that they would want to consolidate and bring everything onto the same platform. I've also I think I heard recently that MuleSoft may have gone down on the Magic Quadrant for Gartner, and Integration Suite has been on the Magic Quadrant for the last 5 years. Was some of the things that people were highlighting. So
And I think if we talk about Magic Quadrant and SAP's growth, I guess that was also one of the interesting aspects here. So SAP said that they were in the winner in the Magic Quadrant again for the 5th time. So that's really great news. They also said, and we can read the report next week, which will be quite interesting to understand what is going on and what are the key areas of this. But I guess the other part of that was, number of customers has steadily grown. So there was 14,000 customers on. I don't know if
it was 2 million iFlows have been deployed on Integration Suite, active iFlows. So that's kind of neat. That's a good metric. So, I think
too many messages processed.
Yeah. I don't have any clue on the messages, but yeah, I think it's no longer a new innovative. It's innovative, but it's no longer a new product. It's an established player in the integration space, and I think that's what people are coming to realize. And again, it's Sapphire, and people were here to talk about their customer journey. But even after the discussion, a lot of the speakers, I listened to Merrick as well, And he took time to be like, yeah, this was actually very advantageous to us. We're very happy with the product and its capabilities.
So what was the story, Merck? They migrated from PI to...
Yeah, so they're doing their S4 journey, and they're basically before they. One thing that I found interesting is both Under Armour and Merck were uh, trying to do their projects in chunks, and I think
Yeah.
that's something that I completely agree with. But they decided that they're not going to do their S4 journey before they do their PO to integration suite journey, and they started doing event mesh, which I think is a fantastic modern thinking approach for integration. And they've had a lot of success kind of doing things, chunking things out and doing things one thing at a time. So I think their S4 journey it's in the future. I think they said next year. But yeah, they've had a lot of success moving their functionality onto integration suite and then providing a lot of variety in the way that they do integration. So instead of maybe historically they were using files, now some people are using files, some people are using APIs, some people are using events, and it all just kind of works cohesively on one platform.
And I obviously they think this thing about migration from as a before the S4 makes a lot of sense. Obviously, depending what are you going to do. Is it a brownfield or you upgrade, or are you going greenfield? Because then probably does not make so much sense. But I guess it also, I think the main focus is at least to have the platform ready. So, this is how we're building integration suite going on in that way.
Right. Well, I think there's not, it's nice when there's like one solution for something like this, but I think that every customer is a little bit different, and you really have to have someone come in and do some analysis to figure out what's going to work with your goals and your solution. But there are some cost advantages to lifting and just moving as is in some cases. There's some opportunities to modernize and that you should be taking advantage of. Even if you're giving exactly the same functionality, things like governance and everything should be taken into consideration when you're building things. So
I see. What were the other questions I had? So obviously, we at Sapphire, one of the big things that you cannot go any place without and seeing in any presentations is AI. We just saw a presentation about some of the things, at least in the integration suite, you can do on AI. And obviously, working, so at Figaf, we obviously have our tool to simplify migrations and SAP integration, and it's like, okay, there was actually some of these things that we could create these agents. It could be fun about approve my transport, import my transport, and trying to explore what is actually possible there. But it's also, is that really going to make a big dent in the way we're working?
yeah, I think it's interesting because in some cases AI is technology without a problem, but when it's
That's the part you want, right?
yeah, that's not the part that I'm really interested in getting people excited about. But in cases where it does provide, it's amazing what some of the analysis that it does, especially on the business suite itself, right? So I have mixed feelings on AI and everything. I think when it's used correctly and implemented correctly, wow, it can really provide some interesting results, and also just kind of a where there's interaction with a user, especially that being able to talk in human terms about a problem that you're having and getting some advice is quite helpful. On integrations, there's no user, so that from a pure AI perspective, it's going to be some creative use cases. But that said, integrations as a whole, one thing that I'm encouraged by, AI is enabled by integrations. AI, it is.
Yeah, you need the data being distributed in some way before.
Exactly. So if anything, AI, I for one welcome AI because it's going to allow more integration problems and that need to be solved. And I'm always excited to solve problems. So.
And I guess a part of that also is this business data cloud. And whenever you talk integration, you also come with this, okay, so we got integration suite and we got data integration. How do all of these different things mix? What's the capabilities that you need to look into between these guys?
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly it. I think even though classically you've had ERP as your one system of the truth, and I don't think anybody is going that way anymore. I don't think SAP is going that way.
No, you use applications separately.
But your AI needs to be able to get information from all of your different systems and then be one version of the truth to be effective and to merge everything. And I think that's going to be very powerful for businesses. And I think that's also that is the integration problem of the next
but
year.
that as I see it is more this thing about, okay, we need customers would need the business data cloud so they know all the different things in just one application so they can build agents on top of that. Because I guess if you're, and I was taking my application again, if we are just growing, you can import a transport, whatever, into an integration suite. But it's not really going to be this cross analysis about, when was last changing at this specific object. Fairly easy to change or figure out manually, but I don't think that's adding value.
Yeah, I think at least initially it's probably, it's still growing. It's still like in its infancy and everything, but we're starting to see certain use cases, I think, where, hey, a little bit of, getting your information from different systems and pulling it all together could be valuable, and having it to be able to communicate across systems, I think, could be valuable as well. Is it really there yet? I don't know. I think, again, in certain use cases, it may be, but I think it's obviously coming. It's obviously on its way. And the analogy I heard is you're not going to lose your job to AI. You're going to lose your job to the next guy who comes along who uses AI. And I think that's probably where we're at. If you start using it and start designing for it, it's just another tool in your toolkit that will ultimately help out your organization.
Figure out what it's going to do, how we can use it. I think in the beginning, the data cloud or BDC, I think at least when I look at it as technology, I do think it's compelling that you have all of the different components, data sphere for ETL, data analytics, transformation, BW, all in one platform, and you can then AI capability, also data persistency, all in one platform, and you can then go in and activate the parts that really make sense and you can see value in. Commercially, I have no clue.
Yeah, I mean, I also I'm still figuring it out, right? So, I do think there's potential in it. I guess I am cautiously optimistic, I guess, is kind of the thing. And whether I'm optimistic or not, I think on high, it's something that customers want, and I think it's also something that the visionaries in our field think is important. So, we're going to have to adopt it, I think. So,
cool. Anything we forgot in this the short session?
I mean, some minor things. I saw some things on Cloud ALM. I think that's starting to be used more, and I'm excited about that.
I guess not here, but you're using Cloud ALM for project management.
That's right. I mean, Cloud ALM is, it's the replacement for the old solution manager, but it's so much better. So I almost don't want to describe it that way, but we've started using it in our projects, and it's a pretty good tool, and it's also, a good way to monitor systems. It's kind of like solution manager. It's probably going to be in your landscape because it's used for different things. So why not get your full investment out of it since it's free?
Okay.
So, I went to a few good sessions on that. AI, we went to multiple sessions on that, and then the customer stories of their implementations, especially Under Armour and Merck. Those would be my highest value sessions.
Cool. Thanks. Yes. So far it's been great, Sapphire. Obviously, most important is all the conversations with partners, customers, figure out what are their really challenges. I think a lot of customers right now, the people I've talked with is about, okay, we are migrating. What's our journey? How can we accelerate the journey? What's the best approach for these things? And I think that is something that have changed a little since last year, where now it was, okay, we need to get on it and we can see value in it. Obviously, we need to find what's where the business case is. Do we actually migrate everything, or do we need to find some other ways of defining our architecture in a good way?
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with you. The question, it seems like last year I was blown away by everybody knew what BTP and Integration Suite was, which years past it seemed like that was like explaining that it's a new platform was the issue. This year, everybody knows, not only knows what it is, but they're also really asking extremely good questions. The customers are asking good questions and questions that are very important to Figaf, which is, how are we going to do this? Also, how do we do things that keep the system going in the future? Like what's our DevOps plan? And those are, for you, I'm sure, quite encouraging.
That is definitely the part. Yeah. How do we get customers to have a fully operating landscape?
Right. Yeah. And I think that's where Figaf really plays well into the solution as a whole. So.
Cool. Thank you, Dave, for attending this session. It's been great. I hope you also find it interesting. Please share it. Please add comments if there was something we missed that you found really interesting. But thanks for watching. Please like and share this with your friends.